and welcome to the 100% Pure New Zealand Winter Games. I'm Mitch Tomlinson, coming to you from Queenstown for day 2 of the Alpine race event. Yesterday we saw a stellar lineup in the men's GS, and today the women and adaptive will take to the same course. We've got an international field that's second to none. Let's get into the action.
The program for today is we start off with this adaptive section, this IPC event, all part of the ANC, the Australian New Zealand Cup.
It's a beautiful day, there's not a cloud in the sky, and the snow conditions you much like yesterday.
Much like yesterday, and absolutely superb. Especially for this morning, for the adaptive race, it's going to be ideal. This afternoon with this sunshine, it will soften up a little and the snow will cut up a bit, making it really tough for the women's GS this afternoon.
But like you said, first up we've got the adaptive. Now what can the viewers look forward to in the adaptive racing?
Well, there's 3 main categories in the adaptive. You've got partially sighted, sitting, and then standing. But by standing, I mean obviously these guys are skiing with just one leg. So with these limitations, just fantastic. Yeah, well the action's about to get underway, so let's check it out.
Coming up now, Michael Hill Watches presents the IPC Adaptive Slalom from Coronet Peak.
So let's take a look at the winning run of the visually impaired women's category. And of course we have Melissa Perrine with her guide, Andrew Bohr. Now you can see that the guide here is skiing in front of the athlete, and that in itself is so tricky. Although they have a comm system, the guide has to stay within visual sight, can't be too far ahead, and equally he can't ski too slowly, otherwise the athlete skis up behind him and loses speed. So incredible to see somebody skiing on this very difficult technical course visually impaired. It's hard enough when you have full visibility. These gates are coming at you so quickly, and that's a nice smooth run down over the finish. And in the men's standing category, Ralph Green of the USA had a really good first run with a time of 49.86. And in the second run, an equally good time of 49.75. Really smooth skiing, as you can see. Just so much strength to be able to do that. And he was pretty pleased with his day.
The run was good, you know. For me, not being a giant slalom skier, to get 2 solid runs in there, I'm all right with that. I think the course is good. The setter did a wonderful job to set towards the field that was here, you know, and I mean, you're at the top of the start and you're looking at the lake. You know, that's the best mindset you could be in before a race. I like New Zealand. I like New Zealand a lot. You know, the best thing about skiing, to be honest, is you're racing against a hill. You know, this is my first time racing against this hill, and I get a chance to challenge myself against at least 4 different kind of terrains up there. You know, you got some steep, you got some flat, you got all that. So I get a chance to challenge myself on that and represent U.S. Paralympics.
But the winner of the men's standing category was Cameron Rawls-Rabula from Australia with just the most amazing run. So smooth, carving so cleanly, and to be able to do this on just one leg, I can't imagine how difficult it must be. 2 great runs, 46.32, and in the second run, 45.26. Beautiful, smooth carving turns over the flatter section of the course. And that was enough to give him first place. And next, we'll move on and look at the men's sitting category.
Okay, so basically the sit ski category, we're all either missing legs or can't walk, so we sit down. You're basically in a bucketed seat. You want it as tight and fixed as possible. It's essentially your ski boot. And then it'll be tight, and then you're just on one normal ski. You've got a motocross shock in there with adjustable rebound and compression. So it gives you the suspension, and you're on just one normal ski, the same fist standards as the able-bodied racers. I've broken 1 sit ski. I know some people have done like 8 skis a season, so yeah, you gotta. We have high. The only main difference is like it's a normal binding, but we have high din and some guys will block it out so you don't pop out the ski when you crash. And then we have outriggers instead of poles, which flip down, so have little skis to help us initiate the turns, and then they just flip straight back up to help us push out the start and the rest. So it's a lot of equipment, and the sit skis are definitely progressing over the last couple of years. Like, there's been a few adjustments, and the technology is just getting better and faster, and it's good.
So in fourth place in the men's sitting category was Quinton Smith of New Zealand. And he had a pretty good run, a little bit wide on a couple of gates on the top section. But overall, a really smooth, technically a good run. And he'll be happy with that. In third place was Mark Sawyer of Australia. Carving really smoothly down the steep section, taking a lot of speed through the compression. And overall, a very impressive performance. In second place was Stephen Lawler. USA, powerful skier. Oh, and you can see a little mistake there, but even with the mistakes, he carried a lot of speed into the finish, and it was good enough for second. And taking first place was Yongsort Park from Korea. A really good technical and smooth run. Quite a tight line, not quite as close to the gate as the fully able-bodied skiers, but even so, really technical, direct skiing, smooth on the ski. You can see the suspension working under the seat so clearly there. Really technical pieces of equipment. Smooth across the transition, over the roller, coach's corner. Great pictures of just how fast these guys can make these single skis work. Just using the little skis on the shortened ski sticks for balance over the finish line, and he's already celebrating. I think he knows he's got that one in the bag.
Yeah, amazing racing, but right now we're going to move into the women's GS. How are the snow conditions looking?
Well, at the moment they're absolutely perfect, but with this sun being so strong, it's definitely going to soften. And so for the second run, we're going to see the snow cutting up and little ruts at each gate, and that's going to make it really tough for the second run.
And what about the list of international skis we've got today?
Well, what a fantastic field. It's great to see not only all the nations we saw yesterday, but even more Swiss and Austrians, some Italians here, to add to the Scandinavians and the North American teams. This is a truly world-class international field.
Okay, well, let's check out the women's GS.
Coming up now, Michael Hill Watches presents the ANC Giant Slalom from Coronet Peak.
First run of the day provided a surprise or two early on. Top-ranked racers Moe Haneoka of Japan and Margaret Altacker of Austria both failed to complete the course. This left Veronika Zuzulova as the highest-ranked skier, and she responded with the second fastest run of the day.
This is a smoker. This is 50 seconds flat. That is the quickest time of this first run to date.
Zuzulova's time in run one was eclipsed only by Norwegian Chloe Fosa, who recorded a 49.92, the only athlete to go under 50 seconds.
Chloe Fosa, folks.
At the end of the run, Fosa and Zuzulova occupied first and second, Wendy Holdner in third, and Stephanie Moser of Austria in fourth. So into the second run of the women's GS here at Coronet Peak. And in the start gate, bib number 2, Taylor Rapley of New Zealand, just loosening up. And she's out the gate. Just a couple of turns to set up before going on to this very steep top section. Skiing fairly smoothly, nice carving turns, just a few judders. The undulations on this steep section are so difficult to judge. And sure enough, just as I say that, she's banked in, and she's not happy with that. Leant into the turn, skis slid out from under her and out the course just as quick as that. Back at the top of the course, from Norway, Riki Gasman Brott. Straight onto the top section of this course, working the skis, turn to turn, trying to stay early, set up. Oh, hits that gate hard, really clipped that, but it didn't knock her offline. Nice smooth skiing, carrying her speed through the compression, over the roller, Coach's corner.
Here she comes, completing her second run.
And now onto the flatter section of the course. Beautiful sunshine down here as she finishes her run in 51.91. Lost a little time, and she seems to have hurt herself. Hit a couple of the gates on the way down there, and that can be painful. So in the start gate, bib number 17, Selina Hangel from Switzerland. First round time of 50.77, and she's on course. Skating through the first couple of gates, setting up nice and high onto the steep. The Swiss, well known for their technical skiers. Slalom and giant slalom, really strong disciplines for the female team. And Selina skiing really smoothly down this difficult technical section. Onto the flat, into the tuck, over the ridge at Coach's corner, and into the tuck in the dynamic position at every opportunity. Letting the skis run, soft on the edges, down through the last few gates into the finish.
50.59 for Hangel.
Time of 50.59, and she looks pretty happy with that. So straight back up to the top of the course. And another Swiss skier, again only 17 years old, Corinne Suter. Great to see so many of these Swiss skiers here, a really strong team down in New Zealand for this great event. Oh, just a little late on that turn, getting thrown. Little undulations on the steep, so difficult to judge. But she's carried good speed into the transition, over Coach's corner. Really smooth, tight on the gates, clipping every gate. The trick here is to keep the skis soft, not too much edge, let them run, carry the speed through the last few gates. Tucks over the finish, 51.10. So, 7th place after the first run, Bernadette Schild of Austria. So the Austrians and the Swiss really take their skiing seriously, national sports in both countries. And the Austrians just love to beat Switzerland, so here, this could be a real battle. Bernadette looking strong as she comes down the bottom part of the top pitch here. Over Coach's corner, the roller. This is great skiing. Really smooth on the edge. Got to get into that aerodynamic position as often as possible on the flat. The course just beginning to get cut up a little, but that's a time of 50.84, and that's pretty good. Top of the course, Team Norway. Annie Winquist, bib number 23, 6th after the first run. Drops into the top steep section, the snow kicking up as she carves hard round the gates. Driving the skis, cross the fall line, trying to carry as much speed as possible directly down the hill, running her skis beautifully into the transition, into the tuck, over the ridge, the corner. Oh, tight, tight, tight round these gates. She's carried the line really well, running a lot of speed into the flat. Tucks over the finish, 50.79. It's another good time. This is so tight. So with just 5 skiers to go, this is still anyone's race. Stephanie Moser, bib number 9 of Austria. I've already mentioned how good the Austrian team is. So technical. And this is a very technical course. These girls train for this throughout the whole year, compete on World Cup, and have come down here for the New Zealand Winter Games. It's off-season for them, but they're in fantastic form. Stephanie really letting the skis run very nicely, soft on the edges. The sun is beginning to melt the snow on this course.
Okay,
But she has lost time, 51.31. She'll be disappointed with that. Possibly the course just cutting up a bit, ruts at the gates. So Wendy Holdner from Switzerland, 4th after the first run. And you can see clearly the marks and the little ruts at the gates on this course as it begins to cut up. And she's getting caught out by that just a little, bounced around, a little late on 1 or 2 of the turns. And now letting the speed run. She's in the tuck already in the transition, over the ridge at Coach's Corner. And now she's got to let the skis run. Trying to stay as low as possible in the tuck. Through this flat finish section and over the line. 51.14. Now definitely she has lost some time and is finding it difficult. The course must be cutting up and affecting these skiers. It's going to make it so tough for the last 3. Back to the top of the course and in the start gate from Norway, Christine Hogan. She needs 51.16 to take the lead on this second run currently. She drives out of the start gate straight into the tuck. She's really going for this. Aggressive, attacking skiing. Flying onto the steep section. A very direct line, hitting the gates hard. She means business here. Trying to let the skis run. Oh, she's in trouble, banked in. Oh, what a shame. She was skiing so well, but she banked into the turn, caught an edge, and you're out just like that. It happened so quickly. Little ruts just at the gate might well have caught her ski, and before she knew it, she was out of the course. And sadly, that's the end of her race. Next in the start gate, Veronika Zuzulova from Slovakia, a very experienced campaigner, 2nd after the first run with a superb time, 50.00. Now, she needs 51.35 to take the lead in this second run. The question is, can she do it on this deteriorating course? And she sets up nicely onto this top pitch, over the rollers and undulations. Superb line, really smooth skiing. It's great to see this level of world-class competition here in New Zealand. Down to the bottom of the steep, she's flying. Through the transition, over the roller at Coach's Corner, sucks it up. Oh, so smooth. This is superb. Letting the skis run, soft on the edges. Making it look easy here, over the finish, 51.25, and she takes first place. That's fantastic skiing.
Oh, it's not so easy. I think it was more difficult than the first run, but I think I did okay.
And in the gate is our last skier, first place after the first run, Chloe Fosse of Norway, only 19 years old. And the only skier to get under 50 seconds on the first run. She'll be feeling a little nervous as she looks out onto this very difficult and demanding course. She sets herself up onto the top pitch. Oh, already a little bit of a wobble. So difficult, straight into this course. But she means business, she's going for it. Really letting the skis run, keeping them as directly down the fall line as possible. Oh, through the transition, another wobble. Gets her line back over the ridge at Coach's Corner, and she's carried the speed. Oh, she's all over the place. Can she keep it together? She's got to stay soft on the edges and tuck in through the finish. 51.89. It's not enough.
My top was okay until I got to the turny part, and then I made some mistakes before the flat part. So yeah, it wasn't perfect.
Oh, that's such a shame for Chloe Fosse of Norway. Oh, finishing in 7th place overall, having been in first after the first run. First place then, going to Veronika Zuzulova of Slovakia. Second goes to Annie Vinquist. And only 100th of a second in front of third place, Selina Hangel of Switzerland. Really a world-class event, and it's been very exciting watching this today.
I'm pretty happy. I'm not actually a GS racer. I'm like more slalom, so I'm really happy. This is one of my best races ever.
For sure, I had 3 weeks of training here in New Zealand, in Cardrona and Coronet Peak.
Yeah.
So I think this helped me a lot.
So that wraps up the GS event from up here at Coronet Peak. Now, Hugh, spring light conditions.
Oh, it really is a beautiful day, just fantastic. But the course held up really well, which gave us a great competition.
Yeah, we saw some amazing skiing, and we're going to be back up here tomorrow at Coronet Peak for the slalom. So we'll see you guys then.